All right, so the first thing is this past Friday, Jake Paul cruised to a unanimous decision over Mike Tyson in a fight where a 27-year-old YouTuber turned prize fighter defeated a 58-year-old heavyweight legend. This is ESPN's coverage of it. It was a generational clash that drew more than 70,000 fans at At&t Stadium to the tune of 18.1 million gate and streamed live on Netflix. Poorly, might I add, due to hundreds of millions of viewers across the globe amid buffering problems throughout the broadcast. The in-ring action may not have thoroughly entertained those watching, but it delivered a once-in-a-lifetime pop culture experience. Now that the dust is settled and the fight has left many unsatisfied due to the lack of action, where do Paul and Tyson go from here? Tyson looked every bit his age against Paul. Between the knee brace and curiously gnawing at his gloves, Tyson didn't appear to have much to offer. The CompuBox stats proved the former champ's current state as Tyson landed a mere 18 punches out of 97 thrown over the course of 8 2-minute rounds. He never landed more than 4 punches in any round and failed to connect in the fourth and sixth rounds. Tyson managed to make it out of the fight on his feet, assisted a bit by Paul, who admitted to taking his foot off the gas in the middle rounds when he saw the former champ was spent. Tyson leaves with his dignity and a hefty bag of cash. He'll remember that deafening ovation he received during his walkout and will be reminded that he is one of the most exciting athletes in American history. But Tyson also left the door open to returning to the boxing ring. I don't think so, Tyson said when asked after the match if he would stop fighting. I don't know. Maybe his brother, Logan Paul. Truthfully, nobody should want to see anything like this again because it is impossible to live up to the expectations, especially when you consider how lethargic Tyson looked against an opponent 31 years his junior. However, money talks, and there will always be room for convincing fans that an iconic figure like Tyson has a chance. Paul, for better or worse, has proved to be one of the biggest draws in boxing after Friday's spectacle, between his ability to pull emotion out of fans by playing the heel and his growing boxing skill set that has kept him afloat by winning a majority of his fights. Paul's unlikely rise in the sport isn't going to die soon. However, how much longer he can fight over-the-hill opponents whose best years are behind them, sooner or later the jig is going to be up. Still, Paul's smart enough to know just how long he can play this game and prey on the curiosity of fans. He still yearns to be a world champion, and while challenging Canelo Alvarez to a boxing match still seems ridiculous, so did a sanctioned boxing match with Tyson that not only came to fruition, but became one of the biggest boxing events of all time. Everyone is next on the list, Paul said when he asked about upcoming bouts. Canelo needs me. I'm not even going to call him out. He needs a payday. He knows where the money man is at. Paul's likely best course of action will be to build his resume facing boxers or anybody with a pro boxing record. It was a course he was on when he faced journeymen Andre August and Ryan Berlin in late 2023 and early 2024 respectively, but then he pivoted towards the money fights when the opportunity to fight the iconic Tyson presented itself. The well has likely run dry on MMA fighters not named Conor McGregor, so Paul will likely look for boxers to pick off, build his record, and hope to get ranked by a sanctioning body in his pursuit of a cruiserweight championship gold. And that's the scary thing about where we are. There's a universe where Tyson and 59-year-old champ Lennox Lewis will fight again. It really shouldn't happen, but it could with the magnitude of this event and the extraordinary financial upside. Regardless of the result or negative reactions, the excitement the fight brought to our imaginations is addicting and will lead to imitations down the line. There's just too much money to be made. All right, let me talk about this before I move on to the last two stories. This fight was not good. It wasn't good. It looked like at first that Tyson maybe had something in the tank and he was going to do something, whether it was his knee giving out, whether it was the fact that he was in the hospital, apparently almost died this summer, whether it was rigged, whatever it was, this did not turn out to be a legitimate fight as far as like the drama and the stakes and all of that. It just kind of was like, okay, there was a lot of hugging going on to like try and stem some of the blows. Tyson really did look his age. I mean, I'm glad that Jake didn't full on like beat the ever-loving hell out of Tyson if he really had that kind of advantage, if he really did see his foot come off the gas like that. Like, we're grateful for all that, man, but like you throw that in with the ridiculous decision on the Serrano-Taylor fight that happened, like right before or two fights before, where clearly Serrano had won that fight, but yet somehow, with her eye gashed open, but yet somehow it went to Taylor. That was stupid. But then also the fact that Netflix still hasn't figured out their live stream game. Like, maybe get out of the live stream game if this is what's going to happen. You did this already with the Love is Blind reunion where it couldn't even get off the ground at all. And now you have this many eyes watching probably one of the biggest spectacles of the year. You can't get it together. Like, that's a time to team up with the YouTube or team up with the Hulu or something and co-sponsor that until you really have the infrastructure to handle it, because you're taking on these massive events, but you're not ready to handle it. Like, that to me was what made it so horrible. Is like, you'd be in the middle of a ring and you see like a punch coming right here to hit Tyson, and then all of a sudden it just buffers out and crashes. And that happened the entirety of the night. So my main loser here, I have mad respect for them for so many other things. You know, obviously you've seen my Ultraman Rising thing and all that which was great and all that stuff. I love that movie. I love a lot of the content that they put out, because Love is Blind is great. Obviously I like the circle up top, but you know, it is what it is now. But everything from Stranger Things to Outer Banks to not Emily in Paris, F that. But so much good shit that they put out. You're clearly not in the live stream game yet, and so you cannot have this happen with stuff this big. That, to me, is the real loser in this fight. But let me know what you think. The Dallas Wings will have the number 1 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, widely expected to take UConn star Paige Buckers after winning the league's draft lotto on Sunday. The Los Angeles Sparks will select second, followed by the Chicago Sky, and then the Washington Mystics. The Wings had a combined 45.4% chance of earning the top pick, including both their odds and those of the Sky, as Dallas had the rights to swap first-round picks with Chicago. The odds were based on the 2-year cumulative records for the 4 teams that missed the 2024 postseason. Sparks' probability to win the lotto was 44.2 and the Mystics 10.4. With their number 1 pick in tow, the Wings will seek to return to the playoffs after an injury-plagued 9-31 run in 2024. It will be the franchise's first number 1 overall pick since 2021, when Dallas selected Charlie Collier, but marks the first time the organization has won the lottery. We know that the number 1 draft picks have done to franchises in recent years, how they've changed the trajectory of teams, said Curt Miller, who was announced as the Wings' new general manager on November 8th, as the former coach of the Sparks. So super excited to earn the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft. You also had some tweets go out there from Arike Agunbowale, excuse me. I just fell to my knees. Thank you, Lord. She is the star of the Wings. And then you also had the official Wings account say, first name greatest, last name ever. We officially have that number 1 pick in the 2025 draft. So obviously they are super excited. Some other draft projections also have Kiki Irafen, Ozzy Fudd, and Olivia Miles to be picked in the lottery as well. You can just see the talent continue to rise in the game, getting better and better, Miller said to a group of prospects. The 2025 WNBA draft is scheduled for April 14th. Okay, so I'm split, because whereas every other Dallas team has been like my main bread and butter, and then the LA teams have kind of been secondary for me, because my introduction into the W was via the Sparks, I still love my Dallas teams, but they actually are my number 2 here, and the Sparks are my number 1. I'm a season ticket holder to the Sparks. So I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty damn upset. You know, my friends and I had come up with this whole nickname for the Sparks. You know, it was going to be CPR, so you had Cam. You were going to hopefully add Paige, and you're going to have Rakia. Who knows if that might still happen, but knowing that the GM of Dallas was literally the coach we just fired from the Sparks, I don't see him playing ball and be like, yeah, sure, take a pick, without fully fleecing the Sparks to do so. On the other hand, because again, I do like the Wings. They are my second favorite team as far as that goes. I am happy for them. And Arike and Paige, you know, as a 1-2 duo will be great. Though there were some really funny memes about Arike just trying to, you know, go Kobe with it the whole time, not pass the ball. But it'll be interesting to see how the draft plays out. I guess the one upside, because there is some like sadness that I'm feeling about Paige not coming to LA, which I think she would have been perfect for this market. And I think would have only further, not that you can't grow it from Dallas. Of course you can. Dallas is a big city, a big sports town. Obviously having her in LA and making it feel like the Showtime Sparks would have been wild. But if they do end up with that pick and they take Kiki, I mean, Kiki played in Stanford with Cam. And really felt that she mentioned in a few interviews, like she got a lot of her confidence from playing with Cam and getting a little bit of mentorship from, the girl a couple years her senior. And now she's over at SC playing with Juju. So I'm not hoping that the Sparks are that bad that we get Juju in a few years, but I hope we get Juju in a few years and then really go full super all out on some shit. That would be fucking wild. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let's get this last little sports story and then Gonna move on. So Inside the NBA is going to appear on ESPN and ABC next season. Inside the NBA features the quartet of Ernie Johnson Jr., Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal, and they will appear on ESPN and ABC starting with the 2025-2026 season via partnership with At&t Sports and the NBA. It was announced on Monday. Except when the show goes on the road, At&t Sports will continue to independently produce Inside the NBA from its Atlanta-based studios over the term of the agreement. Johnson, Barkley, Smith, and O'Neal will remain with the show. The show, which has won 21 Sports Emmy Awards, will appear on ESPN and ABC surrounding high-profile live events, including ESPN's pregame, halftime, and postgame coverage of the NBA Finals on ABC, conference finals, NBA playoffs, and all ABC games after January 1st, Christmas Day, opening weekend, the final week of the season, and other marquee live events. Inside the NBA is universally recognized as one of the best and most culturally impactful shows in sports, ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro said in a statement. We have long admired the immensely talented team and are thrilled to add their chemistry and knowledge to our robust set of NBA studio offerings to super serve NBA fans like never before. The addition of Inside the NBA further solidifies ESPN as a preeminent destination for sports fans. The 2025-2026 season marks the first of ESPN's 11-year rights extension with the NBA. As part of the agreement, At&t Sports will also begin showing 13 Big 12 football and 15 men's basketball games next season as part of a sub-license with ESPN. At&t will air 2 college football playoff games beginning this season, also under a sub-license with ESPN. ESPN will continue to produce NBA Countdown and NBA Today. Okay, and that's the most important stuff. I'm trying to see if there's any quotes from Charles, because Charles had said he was going to retire, but maybe he's kind of turning around on that. Inside the NBA started in 1989. Johnson became the host in 1990, while Smith joined full-time in 1988. Barkley came aboard in 2000, followed by O'Neal in 2011. Barkley signed an extension with WB Discovery in August. Okay, so he changed his mind once that happened. And WB Discovery will also continue its relationship with the league's digital operations, including NBA.com for 5 seasons. At&t Sports and the NBA have jointly managed NBA Digital since 2009. This is huge. Everybody knows that it was a complete tragedy that there was this possibility that Inside the NBA was going to be ending. You can't do that in the sense that I don't know a more iconic sports show other than maybe Sports Center, honestly. If we're going tiers, like I know Sports Center doesn't have quite the same gusto as it used to, so you can make that argument. But as far as just the name in sports and what that is, feels like it goes Sports Center is number 1. Honestly, I feel like Inside the NBA is number 2, and then like that's what S tier. This is like, if not also S tier, like in that A tier, and then right under that are things like First Take, and you could throw Undisputed in there when it was still on, but not anymore. The morning shows for football, things like that. Like there's definitely some good stuff out there, but Inside the NBA is just on another level. The memes, the analysis, the arguments, the love, and of course, to win that many Emmys is saying something, man. So I'm really glad that they figured something out. It was going to be horrible if this was going to be the end of such a historic, storied, sports, not franchise, but you know what I mean, like sports show. But let me know what you think about all of that, man, about Paul and Tyson, about the Wings winning the draft lotto, about Inside the NBA. I want to know what you think down in the comments.